Welcome to 12.3 Video Notes Homies. Let's begin. We're going to be reviewing measures of center. So, some vocab. A measure of center is a way of summarizing the data by providing a central point of data. So, mean, median, mode, and range. So, the mean is a measure of center in which the average of the data is taken. It can be found by finding the sum of all the data points, so adding all your data points up, and then dividing by the number of data points. The mean can be thought of as determining the fair share. All right, the median. You probably remember median means the middle. So the median is a measure of center in which the middle of the data is determined. It can be found by ordering the data from least to greatest. That's a really good key to be successful, is to immediately list all your numbers from least to greatest when you're given a data set. Okay, and then determine the middle of the data set. If there's not a middle number, you have to find the average or the mean of the two middle numbers. So if there's an even number of data points, you would have to find the middle by averaging the two middle points. Okay, number 3, let's do some examples. The following data set represents the speed of several cars as they pass over the Widow Falls Bridge. So it looks like we have speed, and then we have number of cars. Some have multiple cars with the same speed. We're going to first list our numbers out, least to greatest. So we have 2 55s. We have 0 57s. We have 2 58s. 3 60s, and 1 62. All right. So go ahead and use your calculator, add up all of those data points. All right. So you get a sum of 468. Now to find the average, we're going to divide the sum by the amount of data points we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 data points. 468 divided by 8, you get a mean of 58.5. All right. Next example, the number of items purchased by the last 5 customers at Gregory's Groceries is shown below. Looks like we have the 5 customers, how many items they bought. We're going to find the mean and the median for this data set. Go ahead and number these data points from least to greatest. All right, there's our numbers least to greatest. Now you want to add them up and divide by the amount of data points. Go ahead and do that now. Find the mean. You should have gotten a sum of 158. 158 divided by 5 would be the mean, and you get 31.6. Now the middle, the median, what's the middle number? So it looks like we have 5 numbers. So the middle is going to be the third number in the data set. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I like to count in both directions till we meet in the middle. So the third number is 23. So the median is 23. All right, C, are the mean and median close to the same value or very different from one another? What does this tell you about the data? So 31.6 and 23 are not very close. So that means that there's quite a bit of spread. So the data varies greatly. So we could say the mean and median are not close, showing that the data has quite a bit of spread. So this means the data points are not very close together. Okay, all right, flip it over. All right, so now we're going to look at mode, and this is a dot plot. So mode is a measure of central tendency that is found by finding the number or numbers of a data set that occur the most frequently. You might remember mode is the most, right? Mode occurs the most. All right, so we're going to find the mode of this data set. So which one of these numbers, for numbers tossed, appears the most? It's 5, right? 5 has the most. It's 3 data points. So 5 would be the mode there. Okay? Now range. Range is the difference. I have to write small here. between the greatest and the least values of a set of numbers. The larger the range, the larger the variability in the data set. The smaller the range, the smaller the variability in the data set. Okay? So the dot plot shows the temperature degrees Celsius of a lab sample recorded over a period of time. Each dot represents 1 hour. Find the mode of the data set and the range. Go ahead and see if you can figure out what the mode is and then find the range. So find mode and find range. All right, you should have seen that 26 and 28 both appear the most frequently, which is 3 times. So 26 and 28 are both the mode. You can have multiple modes. All right, and then the range would be 28 minus 23, the highest minus the smallest value, and you get 5. All righty, not too bad. All right, and here we have a table that shows the number of tickets for each price sold for a show. We have prices of ticket and then number of tickets sold. We want to find the mean of the tickets sold. Go ahead and find the mean of this problem. All right, guys, so to find this mean, we have to find the total price for all the tickets sold for each price range. So multiply the price of the ticket by the amount of tickets sold. So 1 times 12 is 12. 2 times 14 is 28. 5 times 9 is 45. 10 times 7 is 70. 20 times 8 is 160. Then we added all those up, so it's a total price of $315. Then we added up all the tickets sold, and then you get 50. Because when we're trying to find the mean here, we're trying to find the average price of all of the tickets that were sold. So we find the mean, you get 6.3. That means it's an average of $6.30 for this tickets. Now read B. B says if each ticket is increased by $2 and the frequency distribution remains unchanged, that means the number of tickets sold. Describe the effect on the mean and the median price of the tickets. All right, guys, so we are not going to find median on this problem. Okay, so we are going to see how increasing the price, though, changes the mean. All right, so what we need to do is we're changing the price of each ticket by $2, but we're not changing the amount of tickets sold. So really, we're just adding 2 to the price, to all the prices. So this would be 3, this would be 4, this would be 7, this would be 12, and this would be 22. So now we need to do the same process again, right? We need to multiply the price of the ticket by the amount of tickets sold, and then add them all up and divide by the amount of tickets sold. Okay? So 3 times 12 is 36. Actually, I'm going to write it right here. I'm going to write the new numbers here. So 36. 4 times 14 is 56. 7 times 9 is 63. 12 times 7 is 84. And 22 times 8 is 176. So add all those up, and you get 415. Now we divide 415 by 50, because there's 50 tickets sold, and we get our new mean, which is 8.3. So now what do you notice? What do you notice between our old mean and our new mean? Yeah, you should realize that they're 2 away from each other. So when you increase the price of everything by 2, the mean also goes up by the same number. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to explain that in the bottom here. So if all data points increase or decrease by the same number, the mean will change at the same rate. So if all data points go up or down by the same number, the mean will also change at the same rate. Okay. All right, big takeaway. Let's review what we just learned about. So the mean median mode of a data set should be larger. Oops, sorry, smaller. Sorry about that. So the mean, median, and mode should be smaller than the largest number in the data set and larger than the smallest number in the data set because it's measure of center. Okay. If the range is small, the data set is close. If the range is large, then the data set has more spread or variability. Okay? All right, guys, that is it for 12.3. Go ahead and do the must do and ace the master check.